The conceit that Disney would like sell this is like what gets like that they would market their villains in such a dark way and domineeringly. Like,
I got nothing
or
to
we
say
have
on
the
this one. I was gonna say,
this is feature. Sorry, you go.
I was gonna say this is like the first of two 8 minute battles, which I think are the longest ones we've done.
The Chris Heaton battle royale. 'Cause I think
Yes, Chris on Chris action. um, the
it's one of my
Castlevania
favorite
dude.
parts, though. More Castlevania. There's just like a horde of monsters that dies in every episode of that show.
Yeah, they're so handy because they're very kind of generic. Like I think if you hadn't seen the show, you wouldn't immediately point to them and go, "Oh, they're just the Castlevania monsters."
It's just like they're all like video game enemies. They're made to be slashed up. And I love this part so much.
Smee packing heat.
It's so great. I think we've developed Captain Hook to be so badass that no one would even begin to question that he's just owning out here. And Smee just firing away. It's great.
Smee hitting a flying monster with his eyes closed.
Feats of freaking accuracy. Every time I think we're out of Mechanical's robots too, he has one that just looks like himself.
There's always more. I always have to like go, oh, which mechanically robot should I use for this one? This seemed like the best one for this one. There's one where he coats himself in bugs that I always imagined I would use for the finale, but I never ended up doing that. Um, Frollo, interesting to note, Frodo does not kill a single person during this battle.
Oh,
He gets saved constantly by other people, but he's very like determined just to get to Mark and to stop.
oh, I'm
Everyone.
sorry. This bit is also incredible. I love this part.
Oh, I'm glad I found something to get a Corella car chase in there.
What are these dogs from that they're breaking into a car? Like,
They are from the Constantine animated series.
oh, I haven't seen that. Okay.
Um, I haven't seen it either, but I can fast forward through it to get this clip.
That's
I love
incredible.
how
That
everyone
came out
else.
so well.
Yeah, I like how everybody else got there on foot, and she was just like, "I'm getting in the car."
It's
She didn't give anyone else a ride to the battle either. Just kind of.
her finest form, strongest suit.
Ratcliffe, I think, just like a shout out to Ratcliffe in general because he's been. I always think of him as one of our mascots because he was the first sort of villain we had who had like some sort of story connection and hinted
Or
at like a wider arc.
he's the initial glue when he hired Gaston to kill a penguin.
Yeah, that's how it all began.
It's that meme of like the giant dominoes. Me asking Gaston to kill a penguin. Hell on Earth rising.
Why did he want that penguin dead?
Strong.
He thought the penguin had gold.
Yeah.
Drake penguins have my gold.
Well, I'm sure Drake has like some like he wears a cape and it's like held together with a golden brooch and it fell into the deep with him. So
So Gaston fucked up his first mission. So where's the gold, Gaston? Oh. Glad my Leech is still around.
yeah.
After dying in part 3 of round 1.
Well, he went to prison when he fought Bishop, and I don't know if we ever broke him out
He got
quite literally.
behavior, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't really do that much wrong. Except for trying to kill the United States agents. I don't know how exasperated people would be at the third return of Shendu. However, I wanted him back.
Is this the? I guess third if you count. Yeah, yeah. Because when he came back the first time, it wasn't technically he wasn't there in the first place because it was like his origin. But I'm also happy Shendu is back. It's what I feel like. We always do really cool stuff with him. Some of my favorite edits and stuff I've done were with him.
Yeah, you did a lot of the Shendu stuff, didn't you? Like the
Yeah.
And
His fight with the Pack, which I really like, and his when he kills the Huntsman, I also put together.
Oh, and his fight with Dragos. Yeah, I think you were the go-to Shendu guy.
Right.
And
I was
here
really into it.
he kills Shan Yu.
Yeah.
The death of Shan Yu, which I maybe I should have put in somebody acknowledging the death of Shan Yu because it doesn't seem like anyone really notices he's gone. Um, Kind of a sad end for Shan Yu after like his rise to glory, and then he's just
Yeah.
battle. But you know, he
Yeah.
guy's going out fighting a giant dragon who was one of his nemesis. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's happy. He's with his wife in the afterlife.
I don't know what kind of happy ending he would have, frankly. Because he's kind of sick of this shit
Yeah,
by the looks of it.
yeah.
When I
Even
first watched this, I thought you killed Frollo right there too, but then you cut back. Because we discussed for a super long time since we already used his falling death to kill him with like the pseudo lava thing. But
yeah, and he was gonna die, and he was not gonna die. Like I was back and forth on what would happen to Frodo throughout this whole thing, um, and I thought, well, what's the point in killing him again?
yeah,
Doing the exact same thing with it. So yeah, he has like a sort of redemption story. So
and there's a lot more poeticness to how it almost seems as though he has however many more years on this earth, and he's probably headed back to hell after the fact, but he's just gonna kind of wait it out till then.
yeah, like he's been to hell already. He had to face the fact that he perhaps was not a good person. um, so yeah, I think he ends up quite nicely at the end of this.
Yeah.
And I like that this is the little team that breaks in. Um,
Cruella, just I love that you basically gave her the vampire slayer in form of the scarf she whips around, but
yes,
edit it with Trevor's whip. That it's the famous video game holy weapon, the vampire slayer, wielded by Cruella.
yeah.
It's just my favorite meta logical conclusion in all of this.
She just found it on her way. She found it in where were they based? It was in the underworld.
She hit Trevor with her car on the way over.
Plowed over Trevor Bell.
And she's like, "What the hell's that?" And she picks up a whip on the way in.
Did you hear something? Everyone inside the car was fine, Ratcliffe.
Da 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 da, just Castlevania music. Da 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 da.
This is my favorite bit in the finale. Everybody else coming to the rescue.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a very. I don't know if I want maybe kind of a Shield-esque moment of like, or I kind of think of Littlefinger in the Battle of the Bastards. Everyone just like floods in.
Yeah, or like the Avengers with the portals. That was that.
Yeah.
Like the cavalry is here, as Abysmal says, which was a sound clip I stole from Jason Alexander as the gargoyle rather than Abysmal. I was like, "Oh, that works."
There we go.
But yeah, I love that everyone sort of turns up and is like, "Okay, we better help out." I think that's a nice touch, and I like Shredder's "Troops attack."
when you did this part, I thought this was an excuse for you to use the episode of the Hercules series where Hades like cosplays Zeus and has his lightning bolts.
I was going to. The reason I didn't, I think, is because I needed some Hades reaction shots that he didn't have in that form. And I was like, oh, I can't do that because he'll have to switch back to his normal. And I leaned into thought, I can do it without it. But yeah, for a long time, that's what I was planning to do. So yeah.
Oh, I see.
A good shout.
it still translates perfectly. Here's all the snake men. I can't keep track of them. There's snake face, snake head, snake skin.
Yeah, there is snake face.
Yeah,
that's
I got one.
General Ratlord, Cobra Khan, Squeeze,
right.
Tongue Glashor. Cobra Khan's the main one because he's
the big one.
No, Cobra Khan is the sly sort of hissy sounding one.
The one who doesn't eat meat. Yeah. So who's the big one?
The big one is General Ratlord.
Okay.
But Cobra Khan, in my mind, was like Jafar's designated general. Like, you're in charge. I like you more.
Oh, I love this part. This guy just gets bodied.
Yeah. It's for Saluk, you bastard!
Mim's crocodile form is also just one of my favorite bits that I've always wanted to see, so I'm really happy you got it in there.
Yeah, I tried to get all the mims in before the end. Don't think we used the snake.
Right.
We get all the others.
There's a couple that would have been a little hard. I don't think we were going to use the chicken she briefly is.
Oh yeah, not very useful in this situation. Hopefully, it made sense that Ursula like had just arrived. I don't know if it's that seamless. Like
I
Maleficent said
think
they were going to China, so that's why she's there.
I didn't question it. Ursula versus Evil Lynn, it's not like a rivalry that you think of when you think of DVND, but I do feel like it's been established for a long time and it's kind of coming to a head here.
Yeah, this is their third battle.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Maleficent is Skeletor's arch nemesis and Evelyn is Ursula's. Like they've got the two He-Man villains, and they're like
Yeah.
second in command.
I'm wondering how close did you come to killing Flotsam and Jetsam before you couldn't bring yourself to? Because I really thought it was going to happen.
I didn't. I never even thought about it because they died once already. So I was like, anyone who had already died once was pretty safe.
Oh, I forgot. Did Messina kill them?
Yes, she did.
Forgot all about that. All right.
Did Ursula bring them back?
I think that's why I forgot they died because we never brought them back anyway.
There was definitely a point where she brought them back, but I can't remember which round it was. Yeah, I remember doing it. Maybe
I remember Maleficent bringing back Diablo because that was always a bit I really loved because it was just like I don't know, just a bit of sympathy to the character that she has all this power, but she just wants to bring her bird back.
Yeah. This is my favorite fight of the finale that I did.
Is some of this Evan or am I mistaken?
No, this is all Jonathan Brandis, proving my point from earlier that you can't tell them apart. No sound bites in this bit. But yeah, this is my favorite one I put together because I just think it flows quite seamlessly. Like
the fire back and forth is like
yeah.
effortlessly just perfect looking.
I think the environment helps as well. It looks like they are all in the same place, which isn't always easy to do.
Oh, absolutely.
But in this one, I think it does tie together pretty well. Like even Azula's got like Chinese looking, like you could pass that off for the China fortress that they're in. And the Skeletor, like I've been saving that particular episode for like all my Skeletor footage until the end.
Oh.
It's like the nicest animated episode in the series. So even though Maleficent is tricky because nobody hits her.
Right.
And she never like deflects any shots or takes any damage or anything, so she's definitely one to edit with. So my idea for this was that Maleficent had told Azula to go for Mosenrath, and she was going to hold Skeletor back and keep him busy. So when Azula had dealt with Mosenrath, they could both deal with Skeletor together. So that's if you notice Maleficent throughout this fight, she just keeps diverting Skeletor's attention and keeping him busy and blasting stuff at him so that he can't interfere and save Mosenrath.
It's a practical strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, she's blasting rocks at him and he's like, oh, for God's sake. Every time he tries to interfere.
Crystal Evix is something because there was that footage of Azula getting frozen, so we knew we could trap her in there for a long time. It could be a nice poetic ending.
Yeah, I like to think that once you're in that crystal, you ain't getting out of it.
Oh.
I think even Maleficent can't get Azula out of that crystal, and neither can Skeletor can't get Mosenrath out of it either. So they're both sort of devastated at the loss of their newly acquired ally in this.
This part looks really good too. Just the clips go together really well of Maleficent twirling her wand or staff, I should say, around, matching well with the Crystal Evix.
Yeah, she turns it against them. I think sometimes that's you get these things where you're like, does that make sense? Will people understand what's happened there? So hopefully that bit does. And local man ruins everything for everyone is Jafar's role in this story. Just shows up to just making a scene for everybody to see.
This is, I think, my favorite part of this battle, especially when Ursula shows up. I really like how you meshed her stuff with Jafar. And again, just with the really unique send-offs, we already used, I think, a couple of Jafar's deaths. So we worked around not making him a genie again, not getting sucked into the lamp, but giving him just a really cool looking and well edited banishment sequence.
Yeah, I like it ties back to like Ursula was the one who released the Snake Men in the first place, and
Right.
the one who seals them back up.
Did we ever use his exploding as a genie? Was that in part two?
Yes, that was when Azula killed him at the end.
Right. So he got like sucked into the lamp by Rasputin, blown up by Azula, and now this happens.
Yeah, he gets trapped in the void by Ursula, which I think is kind of a fitting fate for him. He's still out there somewhere.
Yeah. Just to hang out with the other snakes.
And very handy House of Mouse footage with him being sucked across the screen, which meshed quite well with all the other stuff.
Yeah, it just looks super cool. And it's, you could argue that like the big winner is maybe Maleficent because she kind of scores the last big hit. But I found myself like feeling Ursula just got like the best deal in the end as far as like final blows and being a happy camper go.
Yeah, Ursula always kind of ends up happy, doesn't she? She's never really suffered any great misery in this tournament.
She died once and then was brought back by her
yes, she
sister.
did, didn't she? Except that time she died. She's fine. I forgot we killed her off.